What's good, y'all? Dr.Trehunna. New Year's is coming up, and a lot of people are planning to lose weight and finally attain their dream physique in 2024. So today, what we're going to cover is carbs versus calories, which one makes you fatter, and what you can ultimately do so you can make sure you finally hit your goal weight in 2024. Do carbs really make people fat? Believe it or not, no. Like, okay, well, Trey, why do I need to cut out my carbs? Here's the reason why. In order for you to understand what carbs do in the human body, you got to understand two things: glycemic index and glycemic load. Glycemic index basically tells you how fast a food is going to raise your glucose levels, while your glycemic load basically tells you the quality of that carb. Why does that matter in the first place? If your glucose levels is raising, that means insulin is raising. And if insulin is raising, now your body's in a storage state, which means that ultimately your body cannot tap into its body fat anymore. When somebody's eating any type of carb, it's going to raise your glucose level. And if it raises your glucose level, that means your body's now in a storage state. Keep in mind, the whole purpose of eating is to tell your body to store this energy for a rainy day. Because back in the day, there used to be feasts, and then there used to be famines. There used to be times that we went days without eating, and nowadays we can get food with a press of a button, so we don't have to go through that anymore. So your body's working off an old system in a new generation. Ultimately, on my program and all other protocols, no matter what, all of these people make you focus on getting better quality food. So when people thinking keto, they thinking, oh, I can't have carbs. That's not the case. You just can't have the carbs you like. A lot of my clients are carb queens, and they're not talking about vegetables, which is a carb. They're not talking about berries and watermelon, that is a carb. They're talking about fried rice. They're talking about pasta. They're talking about bread. These are high glycemic carbs and low glycemic load foods, which means what? It is nothing but sugar. Because it's nothing but sugar, not only you're not going to get full off of it, but it's very calorically dense. So if you're having high carb foods that are high calorically dense, and these high calorically dense foods are not getting you full, that means what? You're going to naturally eat more of that. That fried rice. You can easily eat a whole bowl of fried rice. But now if I made you eat a whole bowl of brown rice, I promise you're going to get fuller faster off the brown rice than the fried rice. I can fill this whole entire cup up of grapes. A lot of people's favorite fruit is grapes. If I fill this whole entire cup up to the brim of grapes, I can have 3 cups full of strawberries. And it's going to equate to 1 cup of grapes. Some people still gonna say, hey, I'd rather prefer the grapes, right? But at the end of the day, you're still eating something that has carbs in it, but because I'm picking a better quality carb, it has some carbs in it, but more fiber in it. Now I'm gonna get fuller faster. And if the goal to lose weight is to eat less, I need to get full faster. The name of the game if you're trying to lose weight is not to eat calorically dense foods, it's to eat nutrient dense foods. That's strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, hey, watermelon, more asparagus, more bok choy, more endive. These things have so much fiber in it that you naturally cannot eat as much of it. But when I process it, then I can eat more of it. Brown rice is not processed. Therefore, it's a whole grain. It's not going to spike your insulin or glucose levels as high as white rice, because white rice is bleached and enriched. White rice is not going to spike your insulin as high as fried rice. So as you can see, the more I process something, the easier my body is able to break it down into sugar. And if it's easier to break it down to sugar and my insulin spiking higher, it's going to be harder for me to lose weight. But now if I pay attention to this, it says it got 160 calories for 1/4 of a cup. When was the last time you ate 1/4 of a cup? And by the way, this is 1/3 of a cup, so it's a little bit more, all right? Versus me teaching my clients, hey, you can have some rice, just pick up some rice. This one says, I can eat this whole entire box. This whole entire box. Actually, I can have 3 of these boxes, and I can still expect the scale to drop more than if I have 1/3 of this. Because the glycemic index for regular enriched white rice is higher than this. The glycemic load is lower due to the fact it got more fiber in it. That means I'm gonna get fuller faster off this than this. This still has less calories in this than this. I love to drink a Ghost energy drink. I could drink 20 of these and still expect the scale to drop more. I choose to drink one regular Red Bull. Now, if I drink 20 of these, my heart is gonna bust out the frame, right? But at the end of the day, I can still expect the scale to drop more because the glycemic load for this is gonna be way lower than a Red Bull because Red Bull naturally got more sugar in it. But this is bigger than a Red Bull can. This just shows you it's all about the quality of the food. But ironically, we love the foods that are calorically dense because they taste better because it has more sugar in it. So if you're debating on how you're gonna tackle your weight loss journey in 2024, should I cut carbs or cut calories? Why not have the carbs? Just choose better quality carbs. This is a glycemic load list. We don't care about glycemic index, even though that tells you how fast something can potentially raise your glucose levels. I want to see how much it will actually raise your glucose levels. Should you cut carbs if you want to lose weight? You don't have to. But now, will it be easier for you to lose weight if you're cutting carbs? And when I'm talking about cutting carbs, I'm not talking about broccoli. I'm talking about broccoli casserole. Yes. The less processed something is, the easier your body's gonna get satiated off this food. And if your body's getting more satiated, you're gonna sit back and relax and allow your body to start tapping into its body fat. It's gonna be harder for you to watch your calories in if they're fried or they're processed or if they're sugary, okay? So watch out for sugary carbs, not all carbs. And just to give you a nice little fun fact, guess what the #1 consumed vegetable is in America? Potatoes. And guess where it's coming from? Fries. Prove my point? That's your reset tip of the day. It's going to be stay snatched all the time. No, it's summertime. Talk to you soon.